Okay, I just found out, well, what we're going to make is a product called White Rabbit. I've never made it before.
Called? There is no product
An
called.
ice cream called White Rabbit, but I just found out I'm running out of dairy, and you really want to see what Jeff makes, so I'm going to make White Rabbit Italian ice. I've never done either one before. White Rabbit, the way it came around is anything that has to do about ice cream comes across my desk one way or the other. So one of my customers in Bahrain, the Sultan of Bahrain, Brunei, sorry I'm pronouncing it wrong, Sultan of Brunei is a country, small country in the Middle East, and I have a customer over there, and they make this White Rabbit ice cream, which is a creamy candy. It's a vanilla candy, you know, like Turkish taffy, except this one's a jawbreaker. So we froze it and ground it up. And so he's making in Bahrain, and I read about that. He got the idea from some ice cream parlors in Los Angeles where there is a fad going on where White Rabbit candy is selling out because everybody wants to make White Rabbit. And trust me, in 2 weeks from now, this will be gone. But who knows? And their idea came from Indonesia, and the Indonesia people, my customers, were buying the candy from China. So I'm proudly always saying that there is nothing in this building that goes into my machine that is from China. Not one thing, not one piece of wire comes from China. And so now we're going to make, thank you, but now we're going to make a Chinese ice cream. We're going to make White Rabbit. I'll pass this around. I'll open it up. You can take one if you dare. When you open it up, it's also in a rice paper, which is edible, but it's not tasty. And the candies, if you break all your molars and fillings, it's not my fault. We already did that with Sharknado, which is another story, using candy corn. So I froze these little babies and then ground them up so that they won't break your teeth. And I've never made it. We'll see what it's like. It's very popular all around the world. So we're just being very, popular. And since we ran out of mix, I'm going to make it as an Italian ice. Very simple to adapt. So help yourself to these. If your teeth fall out, it's not my fault. If you're saying why let me just tell you real fast about Sharknado and why I mention it. You know the Sharknado movies, they're below B grade, they're so bad. But they're very popular, about sharks falling from the sky and eating everybody and shooting up sharks in Los Angeles, New York, you name it. They're great movies. So I thought, let me make Sharknado Italian ice a few years ago. And so I made a cherry Italian ice. Cherry, red, blood, good idea.
With those.
Now I need shark's teeth. Well, if you've ever seen a shark, they have hundreds of little tiny pointy teeth in their mouth. No big molars like we have, just little tiny disastrous teeth. Well, if you take a candy corn like you get at Halloween and turn it upside down, now it looks like a shark's tooth. So, genius me decides we're just going to take bags of candy corn and throw it in with the cherry Italian ice and call it Sharknado Italian ice. And we made it, we tried it, everybody loved it. I thought this is going to be the next great thing. You can have my recipe for free, it's up on the website. About 3 weeks later, the calls start coming in. I broke $1,000 filling on your Sharknado ice cream. And I've got it, I had no idea why. I had it sitting in the freezer over there. I go pull it out, I scoop it, and I find out that those darn little candy corns, when frozen below zero, turn into rocks. You might as well be eating pieces of marble. And it was breaking people's teeth, and they're saying, I'm going to sue you. And I'm going, Paula, we got to move to Venezuela. So that was not one of my greatest successes. So Jeff came along and he said, well, when you've got something that hard, all you have to do is grind it up in the famous Ninja blender into a powder, and you should be okay. So the product today comes with a great warning. I think basically what it's going to be is a vanilla ice cream, or vanilla Italian ice. And if you wanted to really jazz it up, throw some rum in there, and it could be spectacular. So we're going to find out, and we're going to make it over here. And Jeff has given me water and sugar already in here. Okay. And look at that. It's all stirred up and dissolved. I don't have to spin it in the machine for 10 minutes. Make sure the gate's closed. It's closed. And let's pour this in. And we're going to taste this before we freeze it. So I'm actually going to do what Jeff does. I'm going to turn it on and let it mix a little bit. I'm going to leave a little of this out so that I have some extra room. It's so quiet. Okay. Let's see. We'll turn this on Italian ice and start. I'll get it going. I'm going to pour this into... You never brought your flexible tub, Jeff. Is this it?
I left it here. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
This one here.
That's it.
Great.
Right there.
On top of Jeff selling books and courses and $5 rides in his Volkswagen Beetle, also has this great tub, which the beauty of this tub, you didn't think of the $5 rides in the Beetle, did you?
No.
I'd pay $5. This is very flexible, so you can make it down to a point and pour stuff in. So he uses it for variegating, which is a great video you should watch. But I'm going to use it to pour the White Rabbit in. Who's old enough to remember Bonomo Turkish Taffy? B-O-N-O-M-O, Bonomo Turkish Taffy. Well, I think this White Rabbit is basically Bonomo Turkish Taffy just made harder. Nice.
Why don't we
love
add
this
some
thing.
vanilla?
Yeah.
Right?
How much?
3. How many quarts of water we got?
The total batch
4.
is 4.
So 4 ounces.
All right, those of you who took Jeff's class, if you're making ice cream and you're putting in vanilla, I've got 4 quarts of water. How much vanilla do I put in? 4 ounces. All right, 4 ounces. More than anybody on earth. You're making the vanilla people very happy. But it makes...
Not really.
It makes a fabulous product.
We use cost-effective vanilla.
Yes.
And we make our own.
Jeff likes to use mine because it costs so much.
It's free.
Yeah, well, that was only 3.5. I need a little more. Uh-huh.
Oh, look, there's Elvis.
Okay, I'm going to try this. No, in fact, Jeff's going to try it. Okay, tell me what you think.
It's good.
It's not good.
It needs a kick.
More vanilla?
No, it needs a kick. It needs a kick. Not bourbon.
Kahlua?
It needs a kick. Little, this wouldn't be bad. But you don't want to open a full can for that.
Not today. More sugar?
No. How about some macaroni? What is this? No. Pumpkin? No.
No. Hold on, we're thinking of something.
You have any vanilla syrup or anything?
No.
Wait, I know what we'll do.
Okay.
I know what we'll do. Add some of this.
Tiramisu?
Yeah.
All right.
Add some of that.
How much?
Quarter of a bottle, half a bottle.
I'll let you do it.
Okay.
All right, so if you want to write this down, you're putting in some tiramisu syrup. I think rum would have worked. right, you want to try it again?
Yeah, let's see what it is.
Hold on. Everybody's waiting with bated breath.
I just needed a little kick,
Yeah. Like I said, it's a fad. Don't worry about it. It won't be around in 3 months.
3 days.
Maybe.
That's better.
All right, we need the mariachi band playing. Everybody's happy.
That's better.
Okay, so we're going to hit, excuse me, Italian ice, start.
Better.
Refrigeration, and we're off to the races.
We could throw some brownie bites in.
Nah, I'd leave it as a vanilla. No. Any questions? How many people here are doing Italian ices? Okay, quite a good few of you. Are you doing a store, a truck, a cart?
Store.
Store, cart. Okay. Store. Okay. Let me talk about the cart first, because I find that fascinating. This is a great machine to start a business with, and we have started thousands of people with just one push cart. And they make the product. The problem with being a one-cart push cart is unless you buy a machine, the only place you can get the product is from one of my big wholesalers, Little Jimmy's, Via Veneto, Rosati, Mike's. These places are going to send you a large quantity of Italian ice, about the quarter the size of this room, maybe from here to there and over. Well, you don't have enough freezer space for that. $1,000 worth of product. You don't have enough space, so you have to go out and rent freezer space. So right away, your cost is up really high. If you have a machine, you can make a tub here, a tub there, and you get into business. So here's what happens. If you do it right, before you buy the machine, you start laying out a map of where you're going to be this weekend, next weekend, the weekends in July, and you say there's a rodeo in Tallahassee, there's an art festival in Orlando, Winter Park, and you map out where you're going to be, and you send in your applications and your money, and you know where you're going to be with your push cart. Once you get that push cart up and running, people are going to come up to you, just like yourself, and they're going to say, gee, I wish I could do that. And because you want to protect your business, you're going to tell them one of the 3 lies. The first lie is, oh, you can't do this. These recipes came from my great-great-grandfather in Genoa, Italy. Well, your great-great-grandfather from Genoa, Italy happens to be a Presbyterian from Pelham, New York. Never been to Genoa, Italy. But we're the ones who invented all the flavors and the Italian ice. So that part's a lie. The second part is pretty truthful. Oh, you can't do this because you need $1,000 for a minimum order, and you got to freeze it. It's got to be shipped down from Via Veneto, and it's going to cost you more than you thought to get into this business. The third one is the truth. When someone comes up to you and says, hey, listen, I wish I could get into this business. I admire what you're doing. I think this is great. You tell them, fine, I'll put you in business. Here's 3 names where you can buy a push cart. You go out and buy one of those Sears chest freezers to put the ice in. You put it in your garage, and you come and buy ice from me. You call me on Tuesday, and you tell me you need 6 lemon, 2 grape, an orange, whatever you need. You place your order on Tuesday. Friday, you come with your Igloo coolers. I'm going to freeze the product down to 10 below. You couldn't scoop it with a hammer and chisel. It'll be so hard. And you're going to come, and you're going to pick it up Friday afternoon, cash only. No credit cards, no net anything, no open account, no checks, just cash. You bring the cash, we'll sell you the ice. And so you're going to buy the ice that you need. You're going to take it home to your garage, put it in your chest freezer, and then you're going out this weekend with your push cart. That will get you now, you've doubled your business. You've got your push cart running, and you've got somebody else's. Oh, and by the way, Jeff left. By the way, I'm selling you ices. You see that park over there, Prospect Park? That's mine. You stay out of Prospect Park, or I stop selling to you. That's my territory. Otherwise, you can go anywhere you want in the whole state. So that now there's you selling it and this other person. That's when I get the phone call 1 year later. wow, business is so great. I'm going to buy 20 push carts this year and put people out there. I go, what? You're going into the push cart business? Don't be ridiculous. You're not. You shouldn't be in the push cart business. You should be selling to 20 individuals who want to buy your ice. So now, 1 year later, you do have 20 people. You don't hire them. They're not. Your wife's not running QuickBooks for the 20 people. You're not running a Department of Transportation truck because you're delivering the stuff. They're coming to you. They're putting in your igloo coolers. Technically, I believe it's a retail sale. I walk up to your push cart and I buy a lemon ice and I pay you $2.50. That's a retail sale. I walk away. My wife Paula walks up to you and she says, I got my Lexus out there. It's got a big igloo cooler in there. I want 5 tubs of lemon ice to take back to my pizza parlor. So you buy the 5 tubs, put them in her cooler, and she drives it herself back to her place. By you not delivering it, that's still a retail sale. You didn't deliver it. You don't fall under the strict wholesale guidelines. I'm not an attorney. I can't guarantee that, but I'd sure as heck be working under that premise. That let them pick it up. If they want it, their choice is to buy it from 1,500 miles away or from you 10 miles away or 2 miles away. So that's how you can expand the business. You spend very little money with me and you work the machine to death. 24 hours a day if you have to. If you're telling me that you're exhausted, you're working 18 hours a day and you need another machine, I'm happy to sell you another one. But before you do, don't forget, you got a workforce out there of policemen, firemen, and recently retired military. We hire military here. We have, and the police, fire, and military, at least the police and fire, they all have second jobs. You can't make it on a policeman's salary. Paula's father was NYPD. He had a second job as a landscaper. So you've got a group who wants a second job. They have time off. You know, they can come in. Who better to come in at midnight, from midnight to 6 a.m., than an off-duty cop or a retired, recently rolled out military person who is protecting your building? What could be better? And all three have something in common. My guys back in the Bronx, all 23 of them, they came to work and it was, oh, we got to go work at Emery Thompson. We're union. We got to put in our 8 hours, do as minimal amount of work as you can, and go home. Police, fire, military, it's a mission. It's a job. It's my task. Tonight, my job is to make 20 gallons of Italian ice, or 30 gallons, or 40 gallons, and fill up those chest freezers. And then I go home. I got the job done. I go home. Mission accomplished. It's a different mindset. I used to recommend, because I was raising 4 children, I used to recommend mothers with children in elementary school. Hey, they got the whole morning off. They're not doing anything. You wouldn't say that today, would you? But I missed one simple point. Children get sick, and they get the flu, and they give it to the other kids, and so mom has to be out to take care of the kids because dad is just being a schlub in some high-rise office building. And then mom gets sick, and all hell breaks loose. So it didn't work out for a good workforce. But if you've got a fireman who's got this shift off, he's working midnight to 4. He's not on that shift. He doesn't have that shift free, so he calls in one of his buddies, and he works the shift. So you hire one fireman, you're getting 3 to cover all 3 shifts. And the big bugaboo that stopped people from doing this was, oh, but they're my secret formulas, and I don't want to give it up because they're going to copy. The cop doesn't want to go into the ISIS business. He wants to do his 23 years and move to Hilton Head, South Carolina. He's not interested in the ISIS business. And if he is interested in the ISIS business, all he has to do is go on my website, and he's got all the formulas for free. So you're not hiding anything secret. You're just getting a tremendous workforce. So once you've got you running the machine 15 hours a day and they're running it the rest of the hours, at that point, then you call me up and you've got so much money in the bank, because I don't care if you're digging ditches. If you're working 15 hours a day, you're making money at something. And so at that point in time, then you have the money to go buy a bigger machine and cut your labor costs by 3/4 because it makes 4 times as much. So that's how you start off with a push cart and grow that business. I've done it so many times I can't count. So many people call up and say how much money they're making and how thrilled they are. Well, I didn't do anything but supply the idea and the machine. They did the hard work, and it really pays off for them, which is just great fun. I got to look for a container. This will work. So that's how you can grow a small one-push cart business into anything you want it to be. Any of these businesses, later on, if you get your kids involved or some other relative that you just want to see go away to another state, you teach them how to make ice cream, you teach them how to make ices, and they can take this information and your knowledge of how I did it, how you did it, and they can take it anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. You want to live in San Diego and set up an ices business, you just copy what you did in Brooksville, Florida, or Orlando, or Hilton Head. It's real easy. So it's a great, you're not only giving your family and your relatives a reasonable business, you're giving them a knowledge base. One of the companies, the insurance company, is advertising that something like by 2025, the year 2025, not very far away, 60% of America will work in small business. That's pretty amazing. That that many people will be in their own small business, because our fathers type of business where you went to work for IBM and stayed there for 30 years and got a watch and a retirement, that doesn't happen anymore. Nobody keeps you 30 years. So it's great to learn your own business and just adapt it to your needs. You get tired of living in New York, move to Texas, move to Florida, move to Alabama. It gives you great maneuverability, yes.
The time that you replace
the lead time on machines is these are 4 weeks, possibly less. These bigger ones are 6 weeks, and these are about 3 weeks. So 3, 4, 6 weeks, somewhere in there. Let's see what this is going to taste like. Hey, I think that's good. That tastes so close to ice cream you wouldn't believe it. Any questions? Yes. The payment on our machines is any of the countertops are payment in full when you order it by check or wire transfer. We don't take credit cards. We lose 4% on a credit card. $600 loss on this machine is quite a lot. So they're paid in full. The bigger ones are $12,000 down, and the balance when the machine's ready to ship. We have a lease company that we use exclusively, but you have to understand that leasing is what's called private money. And we're all used to leasing a Toyota, and it really is dirt cheap because they do tens of millions of them. But a business who's doing a Hobart oven over here and an Emery Thompson batch freezer and a Stolting soft serve machine, that raises the rates up to credit card rates. So if you can avoid it, avoid it. If you had to, you can. Yes?
Do you also sell the stand that it comes in?
Yes, we manufacture the stand here. It's all welded construction. And quite frankly, well, if you have a very small store, 500 square feet, it's great. You can roll everything out and roll it back. I actually built it for me because you can see from my height, the NBA is not going to hire me to play basketball. And if I take this machine and put it here, I am lifting over like this all day long over my shoulders. And that would get exhausting. So my engineers designed this for me. I'm like this. I'm not going over my shoulders. So it's because of my height, this is where it is. And it works very nicely. And you can tuck the machine away in a corner. Okay, I guess this is going to remain creamy because of the way it is. So I'm going to pull this out a little on the soft side. Come on. I'm going to put this in the freezer. And I'll use one of these. That looks nice. This is a very creamy product, Jeff. So it's deceptive as far as how cold it is. What's that?
What is this?
That was lemon flavor 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can toss it.
Got anything more recent?
For lemon, no.
Supreme lemon flavor?
Yes, that's more recent. Here we go. You know, we could have put some of the cream of coconut in here.
We could have put some hand soap in too.
You got his spatula there, wise ass? You got a spatula? Thank you. Okay, here we go. Turn off the refrigeration. Open it up. That's just the last little bits freezing against the walls. Here we go. See, this is a deceptive product. It's so creamy that it doesn't look as cold as it is. But it's extremely cold. Look at that. So, White Rabbit Italian Ice. We've got something pretty good here. It came out well. Come on up and try it. The one and only. It's certainly refreshing. Bland looking.
Everything looks bland. It's very good tasting, though.
White Rabbit.
Mr. Bender.
Thank you, Jeff.
Get in line. Don't cut it. I'm not cutting.
So who was that you were showing through the window there?
Thank you.
Get first.
You were showing somebody?
Our mail lady.
Our mail lady came?
Yes, and Reese.
I didn't see her.
She wanted to see Sammy. I
Oh.
told her she's on Steve's lap.
Oh.
Tastes like Chick-fil-A.
You wouldn't know it was an Italian ice, would you?
Your machine makes the most smooth Italian ices I've ever eaten.
Oh.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
open that up. See what we got. What?
Thank you.
Where's Sammy?
Eat it.
Completely full.
Open it up.
All right. Now I can do a little bit of work. Not much.
I always feel like I'm in the army when I'm doing this.
Yeah, looks like
Whop.
Just a drop.
A drop.
Yep.
There you go.
Smells good.
Beautiful. That's good. I just
Come on, eat. You paid your 25. What? Yeah, we'll use that.
That's not bad.
We'll use that. Where'd you find that? Okay, very good.
No, since I'm using no chemicals,
Excellent.
I serve at 16
Excellent.
degrees Fahrenheit, and ice cream is 6 degrees, 10 degrees lower. 6. So 6 and 16. Jeff serves warmer, so he's probably up around 11 or 12. Fahrenheit, yeah, everything's Fahrenheit. I failed Celsius in high school. Yeah, and metric, I tried to tell the cop I was only doing 88. Or I was doing, and he said, no, you were doing 140.
No,
Yeah.
I looked at those. That was terrible. Yeah.
Safety feature where if you leave the water on overnight, I mean, if you shut it off.
Yeah, you don't have to shut the water off at night. It's an automatic valve. It's measuring the pressure in the machine, not the
No, I mean,
temperature.
like a washing machine where the hose could go in the middle of it. Say shut the faucet off.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a safety feature on your machine that, you know, won't turn the machine on without the water?
No, the machine will turn on without the water, which is why you don't want to turn the water off, because you'll most likely call up and say, after 3 minutes my machine stopped and it's overheated. That happens. You just leave the water on and forget it. You know, not unlike a washing machine. You don't turn off your washing machine except when you go on vacation.
Sure.
Where'd it go?
What?
The ice cream. Oh, I want some. Please. Thanks.
How big?
Just a little.
Less?
Yeah. Thank you. That's great.
It needs a punch, doesn't it?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a vanilla candy.
To me, it needs a punch.